Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Rotten Tomatoes Binge Battle. My name is Mark Ellis. I'm your esteemed host that's going to usher you through 4, possibly 5 scintillating rounds of spirited debate, all centered around the boys. No, we're not talking about the Beatles tune that Ringo Starr once belted out. It's the new hit show that is now celebrating its second certified fresh season. Season 1's at 84%. Season 2, certified fresh at 98% on the tomato meter. So a lot of people are loving the boys right now. But how did Jay Washington and Roxy Striar feel about it? Before I introduce our competitors, I'm going to remind you all that, yes, I am a stand-up comic. I have not been on stage in 5 months, so I'm very excited to shout to the world. I am finally doing a stand-up show this weekend at the Viper Room, 7 p.m. Saturday, 9/5. I'm going to be live virtually, no audience there, which means you can watch from anywhere in the world, a lot like you're doing right now. Tickets are as low as $12. We'll be telling a lot of jokes. You can comment on the live chat. You can come and heckle me. This is the one time I'll let you heckle me during a comedy show in the live chat. Very excited to have a lot of my great comic friends opening for me. I'll be on stage, then do a Q&A. Looking forward to being back on stage telling jokes. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And now that we move on to the actual binge battle portion of the show called Binge Battle, it is my pleasure to welcome your 2 binge competitors, one of whom is a great stand-up comic. Him and I performed together from LA to Chicago to New York, and he is also a tremendous host, actor, podcaster, director extraordinaire. He does a lot of writing. He does a lot of artwork. He is the one, the only Blurs in the Hood co-host, Jay Washington. Jay, welcome back to Binge Battle, my friend.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back. Thank you for all the amazing plugs. Appreciate it. Yes, thank you for the stand-up thing. And I'm happy you're getting back on stage. I know how that feeling was until I finally got back on stage a month ago. I stepped on stage with a microphone and I was like, thank you, Jesus. But I forgot there was a show going on. Like, I was so happy to be on stage. But now I'm glad to be doing this again, man. Last time I had fun with this, and this time I get to have fun again. And I got to have fun with somebody's ass I got to whoop, because I love and care about Roxy so much. But this is going to be personal.
Hey, y'all were already throwing heat back and forth with each other in our green room pre-show. And you mentioned your opponent here today. She is an incredible actor, writer, producer, director, star of The World Girls and her daily show on YouTube, Live at the Roxy. It is Miss Roxy Striar. Roxy, you've been on Binge Battle before. You've competed very well. You've won Binge Battle before. How do you feel about your odds today going up against Mr. Jay Washington?
You know, we have fought many times in the past. This will be no different today. Jay and I are a couple of arguing old people when it comes to this kind of thing. So listen, I'm 1-1 right now. I'm 1-1. I'm 1 win, 1 loss. Today is going to be the tiebreaker that either makes me one of the greats or one of the losers. And I don't intend on being a loser.
All right. Well, Roxy is a big fan of the New England Patriots, who have 6 Super Bowls. Jay is a big fan of the Chicago Bears, who have 1 Super Bowl, but celebrate that as though they had won 6. So now I'm going to read you the rules of Binge Battle. 4 rounds, possibly a 5th if we get to sudden death. And you, the fan watching right now, is going to influence the debate. How do you do that? Well, we welcome your eyeballs wherever you're watching us from, whether it's Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, movie clips. If you happen to be on YouTube, please comment, click subscribe, click that bell. It's going to give you an alert every time a new Binge Battle drops. But if you're watching us on Facebook right now, the Rotten Tomatoes Facebook page, you can comment, chime in. I'll be reading a lot of the comments during the action. And most importantly, you are voting for who you think is the better debater or who you think had the better argument. Heck, which side are you on? You're going to click that like button or you're going to click that love button. The thumbs up, the blue button, that's if you think Roxy had a better round and you want her to win. If you click that heart, the red button, that's you saying Jay Washington dominated that round and he deserves the point. Each round is worth 1 point. And like I said, we could get to sudden death. It's happened a lot before. It could happen with the boys. So Roxy, Jay, let me ask you all a quick warm-up question. Start with you, Roxy, then we'll quickly go to Jay. When did you first come about the streaming show The Boys? Did you hop on right away or did you have to binge and catch up?
Right away, immediately was watching this, was looking forward to it premiering, and actually just re-binged the entire season 1 to prepare for today. And I got to say, it plays even better on a second watch. You catch some things that you didn't catch the first time. I have been obsessed from day 1, and I cannot wait for season 2. This has gotten me even more excited.
It's already certified fresh at 98%. Jay, when did you first cross the boys?
San Diego Comic-Con last year when they debuted there, when they had the activation for Amazon and everything. And then later on in that evening, we got to watch the first episode. And then watching that and then like, wait, let me just see what this is. Because I'd never been familiar with the comic. And so when I saw it, I just kept watching it. And I was like, yo, and I've rewatched it several times. And I've had the pleasure to see the upcoming season. So I'm like, it's going to just continue to be better.
Several times, humble brag. Okay.
Hey, it's all about those advanced screeners. We already have a very active chat room. I see Adalberto Rios says, too far, Ellis. I guess in reference to my Chicago. Hey, y'all still won in 85, and you can ask Jay
Can you stop bringing up the past that was 35 years ago? We now sitting on 16 tight ends, and that hurts.
The Bears really do sign a lot of tight ends. All right, let's move on to round number 1 of Binge Battle. Here we go. Your premise. The boys. It's a simple question. Good or bad? Jay Washington, you're going to start with your minute opening salvo. Have at it.
When you look at the boys, you're looking at Billy Butcher, you're looking at Huey, you're looking at Mother's Milk, you're looking at Frenchie, and you're wondering what they're doing. They're trying to expose Vought for all of its flaws and its lack of, and with the Supes. But the problem is how they go about it. So my argument ensues of why they are bad. If you want to expose corruption within companies, there are ways you have to go about it. You can, shall I say. And the way that they go about it is primarily through violence and murder. And that does not sit well. Yes, for the fan watching, it bodes to see all the action and the violence. But when you look at the morality standard of it, it is wrong. They go through this through all the wrong channels to try to justify all of the right reasons. You should not have to kill and maim. Again, kidnapping also plays into this. They kidnapped Translucent, let's never forget this, and tortured him on top of all of the other things. So I feel they're bad.
Tough break there in season 1 starting out. Roxy Striar, what say you to counter Jay?
Translucent was peeking on all the women who were naked in the bathroom. We're not going to miss him very much. Here's why the boys are good. Do good people do bad things sometimes? Absolutely. And Mark, I would like to think that you and everybody at home knows that. I'm a good person. You guys are good people. Have you ever done something a little bit wrong? Yeah. Does it mean that you're not a good person? Absolutely not. You are still good, and so are the boys. They're fighting the bad guys. And in life, we've got good and we've got bad. Should it be a little more gray than that? Probably, but it's really not. And these are the good guys who are taking down the bad guys who are drugging babies, right? Like in a universe where people are drugging children, babies, anything else you're doing, you're probably pretty good. If we take them each individually, they've done such redeeming things, like Frenchie, who's not able to let the female die, even though it would be so much better for the rest of the boys, or Huey, who's constantly learning from his mistakes, and he doesn't let A-Train die when he easily could when he's dying from a heart attack. He still makes them call the police. So at the end of the day, in their soul of souls, they are driven by love. And does that come out in revenge sometimes? Yes, but they're still taking out the bad guys.
Okay, so I would agree with Roxy at this point, is that even good people do bad things, like when I gave away a trivia answer in the pre-show. Jay, 30 seconds to counter Roxy's argument. What do you got for your rebuttal?
To say that good people do bad things, we're not going to play this as easy as black and white. Huey is still an accessory to all of the crimes, particularly murder about Translucent. They stuck C4 in the man's rectum. That is so many crimes of wrong. Frenchie was also out here doing wrong. Billy the Butcher will kill anybody he has to. Their motives, their ideas may be right, but their motives about it are wrong. Think about it. They are on the run and trying not to get caught in the process because they will all go to jail and die. You can't just tell if the police stop them like, yo, the reason we killed this superhero is because the whole corporation is bad. No one's going to go for that argument.
Okay, Roxy, before I give you your 30 seconds, reminding all the fans out there who are commenting, you can vote on who you think had the better argument. Click that red button, the heart button. If you think Jay is winning this round, if you think Roxy is, that blue thumbs up button is the way to go. And let's see about that counter. Roxy, 30 seconds.
These are the Spice Girls. The Spice Girls cannot be wrong. Listen, Mother's Milk and Frenchie both don't want to come back into Butcher's fold, but they do. Why do they do it? Because it's fun? No. Because they love each other? No. Because it's the right thing to do, and they both know that in their souls. Even though it risks their families and even though it risks their love lives, they still know this is the right thing to do because we have to stop the true evil that's out there. And sometimes, in order to stop true evil, you have to get your hands a little dirty. Doesn't make you a bad person.
Okay, I'm seeing this go both ways. I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up and a lot of hearts light up. So the way that we end each round is a quick 10-second closing argument. Jay, you're up first.
Mother's Milk left his wife and daughter to be a part of the boys for what he believes is a good reason, but again is an accessory to murder, kidnapping, and so many other things. If they had gone about this the right way and just directly exposed Vought and the Supes in the beginning, be no problem.
Rox?
It's about the greater good, not the individual good. They're giving up their own lives for a higher purpose, a higher power to fight the bad guys, which inherently makes them the good guys, or should I say good boys.
Nice little tag there. Like I said, chat divided on this one so far. Danny Doherty says Roxy's got this one. Edward Harrell replies and says a little wrong. If they're a little wrong, I wouldn't want them very wrong. Joseph Burrows thinks that they're good. And apparently I just bought stock in Bitcoin. So a little bit of everything here in the chat. As we do get to the votes and we quickly tally them up, once again, for each and every round, you think Jay Washington won that debate? You liked his rounds better? You're going to vote with your hearts. You think Roxy did a better job? You're going to vote with a thumbs up. And for this round one, the boys, good or bad? Roxy Striar gets the win and goes up 1-0 over Jay Washington.
Yeah,
One
well,
thumb, baby. Thumbs
yeah,
over
you're
heart.
gonna get that one. You're lucky, okay? You are so lucky for that.
Are you a ventriloquist? What's happening?
Yeah, I know. My soul is somewhere else right now.
Oh, look at Jay Washington. Bitter.
Yeah,
He's really bitter. It doesn't look good on you, Jay.
Yeah, let's go to the next question.
I've argued with Jay on many a show, and this is one of Jay's tactics. He goes to the fake cry ventriloquist act early. We'll see if it pays off for him. Roxy Striar is going to kick off round number 2 with this premise. Who is the second strongest Supes, not Homelander? The second strongest. Roxy Striar, 1 minute. It's all yours.
Listen, Homelander's not on the table because obviously he would be the strongest. So who is the second strongest? It's the person who's closest to Homelander, which is Queen Maeve. Because A, she's able to call on him when she needs. She knows when she needs additional help, and that's really important. She's also, as we've seen, willing to severely injure herself to get ahead. Like how she broke every single bone on her arm in order to save a bunch of people. Now, has she been hardened over time? Yes, absolutely. But that's actually made her even stronger because now she has the ability to compartmentalize like she couldn't before. We've also seen her use her sex appeal to get what she wants. She's able to convince Homelander of things when nobody else is. And when you talk about strength, we're not just talking about physical strength. We're talking about ability to get the job done. So she's able to save Starlight's life because she looks at Homelander and says, I've got this. Nobody else would be able to do this. On top of that, she's obviously bulletproof. She's got incredible super strength. She's unbelievable in hand-to-hand combat. And she cannot fly. This is true. But anytime she needs a flight, trust me, there's madmen out there, including Homelander himself, who wouldn't mind giving her a little bit of a ride. Again, pun intended.
It's a good argument because, yeah, it's nice to be in the gym and it's nice to have emotional strength, but the bulletproof thing really steals the deal. So, Jay Washington, what is your answer? Second strongest character that's not Homelander?
It would always be perceived that the second strongest will be put right next to the first strong, the overall strongest. But the person in which we don't see fully, but we've seen glimpses of, are that of Black Noir. Black Noir, who we see silent but deadly, speaks volumes no matter what. I could go to his comic book lore, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a dude, when he has his fight with the woman, we see how deadly he is as a ninja, his martial arts skills, his quickness, his stealthness, his devotion to the seven no matter what. Throughout everything else with Queen Maeve, we see her fall back. He is devoted to the seven despite anything else. His strength lies in his convictions and belief. For him to be as stoic as he is and also has had had some of the best funny moments. He goes to play a piano and says nothing. And the guy playing the piano realizes, I just need to move. The Black Noir keeps knives and daggers to throw at a moment's notice on various parts of his body. He is bulletproof. He is just as strong. He is just as quick as any other ones. He don't need sex appeal. He in all black. That's just sexy by his damn self.
Yeah, that's not a surprising answer from a comedian who's had multiple TV appearances. You pick Black Noir, not only because of the ability, but also the comedic moments are pretty sweet too. Roxy, you're back up with a 30-second rebuttal.
Are we stronger as one, or are we stronger individually? Because Black Noir is a one-man band. He does not get help from anybody. He does not ask for help. He doesn't even speak. Yes, he is devoted to the seven. So you're just going to assume that that makes him strong. I think we have pretty much proved that they're the bad guys here. So usually good triumphs over evil. Yeah, he's bulletproof. Yeah, he doesn't have any emotions, but that doesn't actually give you strength. He's not able to reach inside himself and fight for the greater good because it's not inside him. He's just kind of a robot who just does what he's told and keeps his head down and does the job.
All right. This is really becoming maybe a good versus evil or an inner strength versus outer strength. So, Jay.
Is your watch
30
broken,
seconds.
Jay?
No, I was just wondering how long you were going to go. Okay.
It's all yours now, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
You need strength when you're part of the team. He doesn't need anybody. That backs him up. Homelander needs nobody. Queen Maeve needs the team. She needs Homelander. Black Noir's strength is shown by his own prowess. We're asking the question, who is the second strongest suit? The lack of emotion and the lack the ability to not have to connect makes him just as strong, because why? Emotions can bring you down. The emotions have sometimes set Queen Maeve back. Emotions will not set Black Noir back.
I'm loving what this chat is bringing to the table, too. John Lee says, not sure, but the visuals clicking. Matt Link says you barely get to see Black Noir in action, so he would have chosen Starlight. And Garth Hartness McMurray simplifies it for us. Roxy picks their Wonder Woman. Jay picks their Batman. He thinks Roxy has this one. So for now, we're going to do a 10-second closing argument, but I'm going to let you all know for the remainder of the rounds, no more closing argument. It's just going to be that minute and that 30 seconds. So this time, you get your 10-second closer. Roxy, you're up first.
Here's the thing. She's able to get other people to do things because she uses empathy. He is unable to do that. And also, you're right. We can't pull from the comic books. We haven't seen it on the TV show. We don't know what Black Noir is capable of yet because we've barely seen it. And little comedic relief, that's it.
If Queen Maeve is as strong as you say she is and able to use empathy to get people to do what she wanted to do, she would have stopped Homelander and had him actually land that plane instead of letting 200-something people die.
Man, this is where it got heated. If you thought the first round was good, that was just the warm-up to what we just witnessed. A lot of thumbs, a lot of hearts racing up the charts here. And it does appear that Mr. Jay Washington has tied it with his heart. So Jay, it is 1-1 here. Again, you're clicking with your hearts to vote for Jay. You're clicking with your thumbs to vote for Roxy. As we
sexism at its finest, guys. Come on.
You really?
I don't know whether it's against me or Maeve, but one of us. One of us.
You know, I do recall there was a great game between the Patriots and the Bears, Tom Brady's first season, when he did lead them to that first Super Bowl, and that one came down to the wire. We could have a repeat of that right now with Jay Washington stepping up to go first in round 3. And Jay, this is a category that is right up your alley because the question is simple. Best WTF moments. What do you got?
There are a myriad amount of WTF moments within this entire series first season. I mentioned one with Translucent having a piece of C4 stuck up his rectum. There are so many others. We could go to what I brought up in just the previous round, the plane crash. But the most WTF moment is Pop Claw crushing the head of her landlord while she is riding his face. I am going to say this and be straightforward. That is something a man has happened and he is enjoying it in the moment. A woman is there for pleasure, but she is spazzing out on Compound V and whatever else, and her thighs get way too tight, and she squeezes that man's head open like a cassava melon, and all his stuff, and all he wanted was the rent. He didn't want nothing else. She put that on that man and broke his head open, and it made made a lot of dudes feel nervous after that for a while.
It did remind me of that scene from GoldenEye a little bit with Famke Janssen. You go back and watch the movie, you know which one I'm talking about. Roxy, minute is on the clock for you.
Honestly, I think he died the most happy death that any man has ever died. Didn't know him, don't know her that well, couldn't care less that he is gone or that she killed him with her punan. Here's the truth. You just used this in order to win your last argument, and now I'm going to throw it in your face because the biggest WTF moment absolutely is the plane crash in episode 4. This is something that changed the stakes of this entire show. We had already seen that Homelander was bad, but we did not know to what level, and we didn't know where Queen Maeve stood. And now we knew he was up there. He could have saved some people, maybe not everyone, but definitely some people. And that lazy ass of his was like, wait, you want me to go down and then back up and get more people and bring them down? Absolutely not. And when she tries to save a child's life, he says, no, they will tell. They'll tell what happened. This is the moment we know this is not a regular show. This is next level messed up. And it really introduced us to who Homelander is at his core. It did not have to happen. And it blew everyone's mind. It took over Twitter and my world for the time.
We have a lot of comments supporting the Dolphin. We have a lot of comments supporting the B-plane, obviously. And Garth chimes in. Thank you, Garth. Garth says this is family friendly. So what does WTF stand for? Way too fun? Sure. That's what we'll go with. We'll say it's
Is it family friendly when you die by vagina?
I mean, right. Can I start my 30 seconds rebuttal? Thank you. Okay, the plane crash was a WTF moment because we saw everything, but we had inklings and we knew, kind of started dropping dimes as to what Homelander was, who he was as a prick, for lack of better words. But to watch Popclaw, who just broke, and then everybody had to watch it on camera as she rolled dude's face, and he was in the moment like, and then it just exploded. You know what I'm saying? That is not the way you want to go. There are things you plan on after that. Nobody is going to say, if I die, I want her to die on my face. No, this ain't The Color Purple. She died on top of me. Nobody wanted that.
Once again, you're voting with your hearts for Jay. You're voting with your thumbs up for Roxy. Roxy, before I give you 30 seconds, Jay, can you do that impression one more time?
Which one?
The noise you made of dude getting.
Nobody wants that in his life.
He gets 5 additional seconds for an impression. I should get that too. Just saying.
I will give Roxy 35 seconds, and occasionally, even I, good guy Mark Ellis, have to abuse my hosting abilities. Roxy, 35 seconds is all yours.
Jay, I literally feel like you picked the biggest hell yeah moment in the entire show, not WTF. Like, that was hell yeah. I could watch that on repeat. That's my type of porn, baby. This is a incredible moment in which it's a guy that dies that I do not know and I do not care about. In a TV show, if it's going to be a WTF moment, you have to lose one of the main characters. You have to lose somebody that your heart and soul is attached to. I don't care about this landlord. I do not care that you're gone. And honestly, I barely cared about Popclaw, like, at all. So we're talking about falling in love with people on an airplane. Little children. Children are dying. What the actual F is happening here? How can these things be compared? A whole bunch of hundreds of people dying versus one person dying by vagina. That's okay. Take it.
So I imagine John Evans is referring to that death when Simply comments thoughts and prayers. Anthony Alicia chimes in, but the Dolphin, though. And we also have Danny Doherty says that Danny was rooting for Roxy, but at least according to Danny in this round, Jay takes that point. Jelani Jones with a great point. That's how I want to die, though. And we have confirmation of Roxy's dark side thanks to Matt Link. And so seeing a lot of hearts and a lot of thumbs up, but we're tallying up the final votes, and it does appear, I don't know what she was able to do with that last 5 seconds, Jay, but I think that's what won her the point. Roxy Striar wins round 3 and gets back on top by a point.
We fell in love with the people on the plane. We didn't even know those people.
She was a kid. She was a little girl. She was a little child, Jay. Here's the thing.
If we really wanted to go to the real WTF moment, it's old girl fingering the Deep's gills. That's the real WTF.
Yeah, that was messed up too.
That was the one where she was like in his side, and then he was like, stop.
Well, maybe you should have picked that one.
I should have.
Never, as a professional broadcaster, have I been happier to hear the word gills. Thank you. We move on to round number 4, where Roxy could win or Jay could tie it up and force sudden death overtime. We're about to find out because, Roxy, you are kicking this round off with your minute on the clock, and the topic, the best character. Pretty straightforward, but there's going to be a lot of debate in the chat. So light it up for us, Roxy.
Without a doubt, the best character on the show is Starlight. And I think that people don't want to give her that credit because it's the easy pick. But sometimes in life, the easy pick is the right pick. She's the best person on the show. She's our moral compass. She's still finding her power. So she's interesting to watch. It's not boring or bland. Yes, she has a lot of religious beliefs, but she's struggling with those as well. And we're making discoveries alongside her. She stands up for what is right. She's got a great love interest on the show with Huey. We love watching their relationship. She isn't annoying or judgy like a lot of preachy religious characters on shows or fish out of water on shows characters can be. She's just really good. Not to mention she's absolutely beautiful. With the costume situation, she's always on the right side of everything, but she's still got a little edge to her because at the end of the day, she doesn't stick with her team. She's kind of that crossover player and we don't know what she's going to do. So a lot of the show's mystery also comes from her. She's the leading factor in why this show is fun to watch, and she's also a really cool character in general.
All right, pretty strong opening argument there for Starlight. Jay Washington, now you have a minute to tell us why your best character is the best.
When you look at the boys and the characters they want you to focus on, it's Billy Butcher, Huey, and Starlight. Those are the easiest choices, which seems why you picked one. But the best character in itself is the character with depth and a lot of layers, Mother's Milk. Laz Alonso brings you a character who has stepped away from this world entirely. He didn't want to be in it anymore, but Billy Butcher pulls him back in. And even though he's pulled back in, he is still trying to maintain his level of sanity and humanity. The best part, I think, is episode 3 when he's on the phone with his wife and he's like, "Oh, baby, I forgot to marinate the tilapia. Don't trip. I'm going to go pick up some tenderloins, some portobello mushrooms, and that Pinot you like." He's still trying to be a family man because that's all he wants to be. And we see that. We also see he tries to have a calm demeanor throughout the entire show, but people keep pushing him over the edge. And when you push him over the edge, he gets that level of violence that even Butcher sometimes is shocked about.
All right, that's Mother's Milk. And a lot of people having a side debate as to Homelander being the worst character, the best character. So while that rages on, friendly reminder, you're voting with your hearts, the red button for Jay. You're voting with your thumbs up, the blue button for Roxy. This could be the last round of Binge Battle today. So, Roxy, you got 30 seconds to try to get the win.
If Mother's Milk is not on the show is still literally exactly the same. Like, he does not bring that much to the show. He's such a side character, and he's fine. I have no issue with Mother's Milk, but I'm not in love with him. I don't wait for him to come on the screen. When he's there, I'm like, you're nice to look at. He honestly does not add that much value, and he might in season 2, but season 1, he doesn't. Starlight has great morals, and by the way, team in the chat, I'm for the fact that she's incredibly religious and she brings that to the show. We need that element of her on the show because we need somebody who's connected to what is right and what is wrong. And that's what that stands for here. And we, especially on a show with the boys where we're arguing morality, she is our morality, not Mother's Milk.
You're talking about him. You say morality, and you're talking about a man who has to choose between his friends and his family. She leaves her family Starlight leaves her family to join the 7 because she's happy to do it, even though it's what her mother wants. But Mother's Milk is reluctant the entire time. Laz Alonso is the heart behind everything. Huey's the cute little guy because we start out with his story, but you have Mother's Milk who keeps everything grounded, keeps the boys more focused than even Billy Butcher can.
So many likes, so many hearts, and so many different codes of chivalry. One of the things that struck me about The Boys season 1, one of the reasons why I enjoy the show so much is just everybody has their own weird moral compass, where if you look at it in the landscape of the greater good, none of them are on par with just doing justice, serving the community with no underlying emotional attachments to themselves or to something else that may portray them as selfish or less than holy. And that's the beauty of it, is that this is probably how superheroes would act in real life. And when we look at all the hearts and we tabulate all of the thumbs up, we take Roxy Starlight versus Jay Washington's Mother's Milk. Jay fighting valiantly to force a tiebreaker. Unfortunately, it is Roxy Striar taking down Jay Washington. Jay, I'm sorry, Roxy, you did it in regulation, 3-1 over Jay Washington. Congratulations, Roxy Striar. Celebrate.
I am celebrating with my arms. I've never done this before. Look at this dance. What's happening? She can't help it. Jay, you defeated. Look, I don't win with grace. Nobody said I did.
Hey, when you win as much as the Boston teams do, you may get a little spoiled. Jay, you fought valiantly. You went down swinging. What do you have to say for yourself?
I didn't in my heart believe that the boys are bad. I had to argue that with the people. And I gave it my all like I'm a lawyer in a TV show, okay? Like I'm Matthew McConaughey in A Time to Kill. And y'all turned on me.
We both made compromises, Jay. We both compromised our dignity here.
You didn't have to compromise as much, okay? You didn't have to change as much. I'm here for this, but congratulations, you win.
Oh, this is so funny. We have so many people. This Homelander debate is still going on. Brian Knight says negative points for Roxy and Jay because they didn't pick Homelander. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Danny Doherty says he loves all three of us, which I think is a nice sentiment. And one of my favorite comments is from Jerron Evans, who says, "Where's Molly to guest judge?" Molly, the wonder dog, the Beagle Boston Terrier that is still asleep in the other room. So Molly is not waking up yet, despite the fact that her dad is talking in his dad hosting voice. So she's taking a nap, but Roxy Striar is on cloud 9. We'll put Jay on cloud 7 or 8. He had a great showing today. So I want to reward both of my competitors with their streaming picks to give to all of our fans out there who've been awesome across all platforms, well into the thousands of people watching us over the YouTube, for Rotten Tomatoes, for Fandango, movie clips, and then here joining us on Facebook as well. So Jay, as the runner-up, you get first shot at your streaming recommendation. What do you want all the fans out there to check out?
For me, I think in the midst of all the craziness and madness that it is in this world, we need to have something of a little bit of heart and just take us back to a level of innocence. Thundercats, both the original season from 1985 and the 2011 season, are available on for streaming. I highly recommend you do it. You can go binge out on it and don't have to worry about the world around you.
I agree with some folks in the chat here when they're referencing Jay. And there's a crocodile that was found that was like 25 feet long and has eaten like 30 people. And his name's Gustav. And I still don't think Gustav has wept as many crocodile tears as Jay Washington. Is that fair to say, Jay?
I don't want to dignify that.
Okay, you know what? I know where you live. I'm going to come give you a hug right now, a social distant hug. I'm going to wear my mask. Roxy, where can everybody find your streaming pick? What do you got for them?
Working Moms. I think you're going to like that one, Mark, because it's Catherine Reitman's show, who I think is a friend of yours, but she made this incredible show that is on Netflix now. It came from that Canadian station that gave us Schitt's Creek as well. And this show is phenomenal. I'd never heard of it. All of a sudden, I'm scrolling through Netflix. There's 4 seasons of it. And I was like, what is Working Moms? This show is raunchy. It is weird. It's funny to the point that you are crying, laughing, but going like this at the same time because you can't even watch the screen. It's so uncomfortable. It's got a bunch of badass women in it. And I can't believe the show isn't bigger. I think it's going to do a Schitt's Creek thing where it kind of builds as now it's available on Netflix. So can't recommend this show enough, especially during a time where we all need to laugh. This is the show. I
would agree with that. And both y'all streaming picks I appreciate because they are a nice distraction. Sometimes we need our art to comment on what's going on, and sometimes we just want to get out of our own head and out of the news for a little bit. So you got Thundercats, you got Working Moms. Catherine Reitman is a longtime friend of mine, and she is doing an incredible job on that program, as did both competitors here today. Before we plug everything that they have going on in the latest places you can catch, I'm going to remind y'all that Binge Battle is brought to you by Rotten Tomatoes, and we want you to check out Binge Central. That's at RottenTomatoes.com. Just click that for all the latest streaming info. You get updates, you get news, you have a bunch of cool lists that the staff has worked tirelessly to compile. Everything from the best 100 action movies currently streaming to the 10 best TV shows of days gone by that you missed and you can catch right now. So go check out Binge Central. That's our hub for everything streaming right now. Jay Washington, I know you always have 1,000 things going on. Where can all the kids find you? What do you want to give a shout out to right now?
I just want to give a shout out to Rotten Tomatoes, to you, Mark, and to you, Roxy. You guys are great friends of mine, and I always love doing this with you all because that's what makes it better. Like if I lost to somebody I wasn't really cool with, I'd be heated. Like I'd be upset so badly. But it's like, okay, me and Roxy will laugh about it later. But anyway, you can find me Twitter and Instagram at Mr. J Washington, MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington. Please do. The Mad Titan podcast, where I get you caught up on all the things happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. It is barbershop talk for nerds, so come on in that convo. And Blurs in the Hood every Tuesday live. Myself and my co-host Winston A. Marshall, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. on the East Coast on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Blurs in the Hood. That's BLERDS, the letter NTHEHOOD. And we're possibly adding a second show in the week.
That's right. I think that we can put to rest the debate from Winston and Jay, who's Pippen, who's Jordan. It's just 2 Michael Jordans on that show, 2 of my great friends. And if you've never seen Jay do stand-up, dude is an absolute monster on stage. I hope to get back up there live with you soon, my man. A lot of people are afraid to try stand-up. One of them may not be Roxy Striar with her new show, The World Girls, where they're trying different things during the pandemic, planning things after this is over. So, Roxy, what's the latest experiment from you, Stefan Dorina, on The World Girls?
Oh, I'm still afraid of stand-up, Mark. I'm so afraid. We are giving bottle rockets a whirl. That episode is dropping soon. We're World Girl Wednesdays every single Wednesday, and it was a disaster. I can't express enough how much we are not scientists. So definitely check that out. And then, yeah, I'm everywhere at Roxy Striar. Shout out to Alex and Ed and everybody from the Rotten Tomatoes team. Really appreciate you guys having us. Mark, you as well. You're amazing. And Jay, I know I didn't lose in grace, but if I'm going to beat anybody, you're such a worthy opponent that I'm glad that it was you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate hearing those words. And Alex and Ed, you all are amazing too.
Our entire tech team is the best. And whenever Roxy's describing bottle rockets and it went horribly wrong, I'm glad she shows us that she still has 10 digits to brag about. So
I didn't show you my
Roxy
toes.
Striar, you can check out Live at the Roxy Daily on YouTube. Like Jay said, check out Blurs in the Hood. Follow them on all the social media stuff. And as for me, Live at the Viper Room, virtually from wherever you are, your living room, your car, your bathroom, come watch and hang out. Tickets are as low as $12. MarkEllisLive.net. The last shout out of the day is me echoing Roxy and Jay's sentiment when I say everybody behind the scenes here at Rotten Tomatoes, one of the hardest working, best tech crews in the entire industry, helping us engineer this baby across multiple platforms. So for everyone behind the scenes and in front of the camera, I am Mark Ellis, thanking Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, Movie Clips, and everyone else, and especially all you fans for chiming in, for voting, and making Binge Battle the success it is. We'll be back with a new episode soon. In the meantime, have a great day.